you can share on your page. Let me see.
How will I do that?
You go to my page, and then from
Oh,
my
yeah. Okay.
yes, but it usually takes a little bit. Uh,
Get
I
ready to
don't
go to
know
your
if
page.
we are already live. Hello all, and we just need a
I've got my head on the side here
few
because I'm
minutes.
trying to look for your page.
Yeah, I'm trying to find if we are already live. Not
Oh,
yet.
yeah, there we are.
Oh, so you can share it.
I have.
Yes, and so welcome all that are joining this now. Hello, Cynthia. I don't know if you are already there. You crazy girl. Because it's like 3 in the morning for Cynthia. 3 a.m.
Oh, is it Cynthia? I didn't understand
Cynthia.
what you were saying.
Yeah,
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
I thought you were saying CJ.
No.
Ah,
You know my English.
look at
Like,
my beautiful trees.
I don't
I should
apologize
move up here
anymore.
so.
She's sending a lot of hearts. Hello, Cynthia. Please make comments and tell your your truth with us.
So we don't, but we can't see the comments here, can we?
No, you have to see on your phone. So if you keep the
Okay.
phone, yes, I have my phone here also, and
No, I'm on my phone.
oh, so you cannot see. But
That's okay.
I'll tell you. I will be telling you the
You can
comments.
tell me if there's some good comments.
Yes, yes. So
Cynthia,
I'm super
Cynthia.
happy, Cynthia. I'm super happy and grateful for having you here. And I have been doing the last conversations. This is the idea of these conversations is just for us to be and to share what is in our heart with no specific goal, with no just two friends sitting under the stars and having a chat or something. And so I would like just to usually we start creating some hard coherence. I don't know if you want to do that, like
Sure.
some breathing together or something just for us to relax and I don't know.
Well, I could do a lovely chant.
Yes, great.
Um,
I love
I
that.
could do a lovely short. It's a very short chant, and it's so I do it 3 times, and it's a chant to the sun, and which there is none of here because it's nighttime. And yeah, okay. Well, I will do that.
Great.
Okay. Hmm. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Prago Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Prachodayat Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Pragodevasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Prachodayat Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Pragodevasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Prachodayat
Grateful.
And I'd like to say, predictably, that a very simple way for everyone who's here and for me and Anna to orient to our bodies and to where we are, to be here now. And it's a very simple neurosensory nervous system exercise, which is simply to, if your feet are on the ground, to feel your feet, to feel the contact that your feet are making with the ground, to feel the contact that your butt makes on the chair, to really feel that sensation, to maybe have a gentle awareness that every moment you've lived, you've been supported by your environment. Always you're being supported by your environment. And as you're feeling that contact, to just maybe gently rest your gaze on an object. I'm looking at a lamp, and just a gentle awareness of its function, the extraordinary processes and people that brought that to be there. Just really gentle gaze, gentle pondering, and maybe just move your head very slowly to rest on another object. I'm looking at a jug of water on the table. And we are here.
Yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And I try always to write something about the person that I'm gonna be with in these conversations, but not a bio, just something that this person inspires me. Or and with you, I it just popped in my head that image of we seated under the stars and talking and yes, and I guess we do that in our dreams, as I said. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to believe we've never been in each other's physical presence. How funny my name says Liam Bullich. I did try to change that, you know. Liam is my son, everybody. And it makes me think about, you know, this world situation we're in, and how we have always said, you know, some people say that connecting online can never be real. It can never be true. And, you know, for those of us who have developed very real, very true deep friendship and connection as you and I have, as Cynthia has. Interesting to me when this situation arose and began evolving on the planet. And I thought, wow, I'm really glad that I have really nourishing long-term online friendship and social circles. And I felt like there was a time that some family or people in my life might have made fun of me for that. And I thought, who's laughing now? We were always social distancing. We have been socially distant for our entire relationship, and yet, and in terms of sitting under the stars in our dreams, as you put it, it's kind of the same world as this world, because we're not together, but we are together, you know. And in that astral world or energetic world or whatever you want to call it, it's very similar. And I remember when I first came online that I thought, wow, this is really like that ethereal world. This is really like existing in another realm that's very real, but it's not real, you know. And that realm of being under the stars, you know, both of us spend so much time in nature, and that's been one of our connections, our deep connection to nature. And I guess some people could say the online world is very opposite to that, but in fact, in some ways, it's not at all. Yeah. It's very special. And I think of smoke signals, you know, Indigenous people, you know, putting out smoke signals and being able to communicate with each other when they were very distant, when they were very far from each other, and being able to communicate with each other, and beyond that, telepathically. And you know that I've spent a lot of time in remote areas and in very wide, spacious areas like the Kimberley. And they call it the bush telegraph there. And the bush telegraph is information just somehow is passed. People know you're coming before you come. You know, people, there's just this communication that's happening that is not in the regular way. And yay for that, because the regular way is out the window at the moment. You know, touch, to not be able to touch, but I've never touched you. You know, and yeah. So it's very interesting times that we live in.
Yes. Cynthia, she says, we know the truth. And that's true because we were talking about this yesterday, me and Cynthia, through voice recordings. Can you hear me well this way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you well.
Yes. And we were talking the same, and Cynthia was saying like, "Oh, my family, they say I'm nuts because I say I have some friends really close, one in Australia, another in Portugal, and and I feel the same. And actually, I have write something about this, about how strong is the connection with our friends, and we, yes, as you say, we have never met, but we have a story already. We have memories, and I don't know when I'm
We've had fights.
Yes. Yes.
We've had arguments,
Yes.
we've had challenges, we've
Yes.
had, we've gone through all the normal parts of a friendship, and you and I,
Yes.
because we're so similar, I think we're just so similar. It's, there's so much sameness. We went through a couple of years where we would clash all the time, and there would be this energetic clash, and this somehow seemed like a misalignment, but it was almost like it was so aligned that we got misaligned, and like any normal, well, I don't know if it is like a normal friendship, but I feel it's how beautiful, deep relationships do progress, because people, what I want in a relationship is people who will be transparent, even if their transparency, and even if they feel that maybe or they know because of prior misalignment, and they think, oh, if I say this, we might misalign, but then that commitment to have to speak your truth and to give your friend your truth, no matter if it may, not may cause misalignment. And I just value that so much. And I think the relationships I want to have, that's how they will be. They won't be, oh, you're so great. No, you're so great. No, you're so great. But we did plenty of that as well. You're so beautiful. You're so wonderful. But we never backed away, nor Cynthia, none of us never backed away from saying something that the other might possibly not want to hear. And I value that so much because it makes me feel safe. Nothing makes me feel safer than knowing that someone will speak their truth. And nothing makes me feel less safe than people who speak one thing to your face and then another thing behind your back. And I would rather hear the most brutal truth than the prettiest lie, of someone, and so there's been both. There's been, you're beautiful, I love you, oh, you're so amazing, no, you're so amazing, that's been there too. But there's just been such transparency, and I wonder if part of the reason is because of online connection. Because I know for me, in those moments of misalignment or contrast, when you're person to person and that happens, it's not nearly, you can't go away, read what they wrote and then sit and deal with it for 3 days before you answer, 5 minutes or anything. When you're person to person, there's this need to immediately respond. And so I wonder in some way, I don't wonder, I know in some ways for me, and that comes back to the nervous system stuff as well. I have a high degree of reactivity, have had far more so in the past, in physical presence. And part of that is because I hear the nonverbal communication, and they say 90% of our communication is nonverbal. And so often people's nonverbal communication is so different to what they're saying. And so I'm sort of really confused in physical presence because I'm getting all of the nonverbal and it's really different to what they're saying, and that's really confusing, So this online platform, one of the beauties of it is its capacity to be able to regulate before you react.
Yes.
And rather than all those times in your life you walked away from a situation going, why did I say that? That's not even how I feel. I can't believe this is what I wanted to say and I didn't. You have the time and the space and the privacy to really get to what you want to say.
Yes.
And I really value that and it's helped me to regulate, and my online connections over the past few years. My very first in the Eckhart Tolle community, how we connected, not in the community, but, through Eckhart Tolle. And I had this experience of going, wow, I have never been so much myself as I am here, because I can take the space to communicate what is true for me, instead of going, blah, 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 although I do a bit of that too.
Cynthia is saying, I promise honesty always, and treasure the same from you both. And
Yeah.
she says,
Yes.
my volume is low, but now it's better now, Cynthia. She says she's a boomer.
Hang on 1 second. Hey, Liam.
My kids, they are always
Hey,
saying,
Liam. Can you get the pies out of the oven?
yes.
Okay, get him to get the pies out of the oven. Maybe he'll come and say hello. Do you want to come and say hello to Anna and Cynthia?
And
And the
also,
world?
we have some more friends.
Hello.
And hello,
Anna
Liam.
missed you. He wasn't looking. You got to look.
Hello.
There's Liam's nostrils. Oh, you missed Anna's crazy face.
Okay.
You got to do it again.
Okay.
Just take them out, darling.
Yeah,
I won't eat my pie online.
I was hearing you, and I feel the same. But also, it's very interesting because I feel the energy when we are interacting in this virtual way, like typing a message or something. I can feel the energy also of the person in the words, even when the words are saying something different. I feel the energy. But it's more soft, as you say, and you have more time to you read, and it's different because the actually when you read something, it's a little bit different from when you hear something. Maybe is something connected with that. What do you think?
I think
It's because
I think,
yeah, sounds is
well,
different.
you have evidence of what was said. I have had many experiences online where I have read something and then I've interacted with someone and they've said, no, I didn't say that, or I've said, no, I didn't say that. And you're able to go back and go either, oh, yeah, you actually did. This is what you said. And then they can say, oh, wow,
Yes.
I didn't mean it that way. Actually, this is what I was trying to express. And you can go, oh, I can totally see that. Or you can go back and you can go, oh, you didn't say that at all. I didn't read properly what you said. So there's that evidence of what has been said rather than argument about what was said.
Yes.
And when you just speak with words, there is no evidence of what was said. And if someone says, as I find with my children often, you said this, and I say, but no, I didn't. And it's just an argument, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think what you're saying also about sound, there's a very different, I've got my earphones in weird. There is a very different experience with sound and the tone of someone's voice and how that sounds to you. And some people's voices are going to trigger you anyway. Some people's different textures or tones of how they talk are either more soothing, and the speed with which they talk.
Yes.
Or, I talk, my thoughts flow into my mouth and out quite quickly and build upon each other. And that's not necessarily easy for people to follow. Some people it is easy, but but that when I write, there's far more capacity to go, okay, so, but I agree, you do feel words are magic. The way someone puts words together communicates an awful lot about them.
Yeah. And also, Yeah, because I'm like you. My my mind is going to many places at the same time. Then I start speaking very quick, and right now I'm working on giving more space and and that I think this is a bit associated with autistic Asperger characteristics, and I was born with some, and I used to speak really quick and thinking many subjects at the same time, and then the people suddenly I will look to the people and the people were blank because they were still thinking about the first thing I have said previously, and I will be already much more further. So yes, it's a very good writing because of that too.
Mm.
Um, because
Very good to talk to people who can do that with you. You know, it is good when you find people
yes,
who can jump. You know, I do the same thing. I can jump easily, and it doesn't overwhelm me at all when someone else does that.
yeah,
If
yeah, me too.
someone's
Yes,
talking about something and then they jump to another topic, I'm fine with that. But other people be like, whoa, 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 hang on. I'm trying to think about that other thing you were just saying, and now you've just jumped 3 topics, and I don't even know where you are. You know, so yeah, everybody's got different ways that they work. So it's good. It's really good to learn to slow down
yes,
and be really much more present with how you're connecting, very much so. But it's also good when you have people who can move in the way you move,
yes,
which is gathering this bit, and they're all interconnected.
yeah, yeah,
And you know, so both are good.
yeah,
But the writing does give you a chance to um,
yeah.
just be clearer and to think about and be really clear about what you're delivering. I watched a really great documentary called The War on Sense Making the other day, and I really recommend it because this is what he was really he talks about the ecology of information. And you know, for some people in watching that, he's very, very eloquent. It was an hour and 45 minutes. I never watch anything for an hour and 45 minutes. I usually watch like 15 minutes and go, yeah, that's so cool. Got it now, you know. But I actually watched every minute because one of the things he talked about is with this online world that we're in, particularly on.
Can you leave the link after we finish of
I
the
will. I'll leave the
yes,
link after
yes,
we finish. Yeah.
yes,
Um, in this world that we're in, particularly in social media and Facebook, it's like these little bite-sized bits. Our brains are getting trained into not paying full attention and not being properly really investigating a thing because we're having these little bite-sized chunks of information scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And and I really related to that, which is why I watched his whole video, because I was like, oh, I'm so like that. I just take a little chunk of something, but I don't sort of bother to read the whole book or watch the whole documentary or, you know, really hear what they're saying in a very fleshed out way. And he was talking about, oh, it's so fantastic. It was really fantastic. And I mean, he was talking about the big global issues and how where we get our information from,
yes,
what we believe, what we have collectively been fed as being true, and what agendas are behind the information that we're receiving, um, whether it be economic agendas or political agendas or anything else behind the information that we're receiving, but also just ourselves and what our agendas are in sharing information and really going deep into how you offer information, why you offer any word that comes out of your mouth. What are you doing? What is your intention? And what are the agendas and intentions behind the information you have chosen to believe is true? And so at the end of this clip, I was waiting and waiting because it said the war on sense making. And so I immediately, my response to that is we make sense of the world through our senses. And on a very simple level, through what we smell and what we see and how we respond to touch and what tastes delight or repulse us. You know, this is a very simple way that we're making sense of the world. So the world is not a thing. A taste is not a thing. A food is not even a landscape is a thing, because literally what you see will be different to what I see, because you will have put together the data of what you're visually seeing in a different way to me. You will have brought focus to different parts of that landscape than I will have. So you literally will see something different. And so on a simple level, that's how we make sense of the world. But on a deeper level, as we all know, the nervous system and the way that it spans throughout our bodies, which for me is not only is the way that source energy, the highways and byways that source energy travels through us, to us, through us, and from us on this highway of nerves throughout our body. But source energy to me is information and light. And so how we truly decide or it is within us. It's within. We you know, so any information that you receive, rather than saying, well, I trust that authority or I trust, you know, when they've got all sorts of agendas, is to what it feels like in your body. What that information, I hear you say this, my body is just like, yeah, I can flow with that. Or, oh, hang on, just tell me this or tell me this. Or, no, that doesn't feel like right for me, which doesn't mean it's not right, you know. But he didn't talk about that. And I felt like after you watch the video, a person could be left going, so I can't believe anything I've ever believed. It all might be a lie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, yes. But this is a very scary thing for a lot of people to think, what if everything I ever believed about me and everyone in the world is not true? That's really super scary. And so if they, you know, listen to this, what I felt like he didn't offer an answer. When you bring people to that place and open them up to that concept, and even those people who think that they're awake or they're aware of this can still be fully believing various bits of information and still in that delusion that they know what's going on when none of us know what. You need to have an answer. And for me is that we are the technology. We are in the greatest bit of technology on this planet. And it's our bodies, and they are transmitters and receivers of information, of energy, of pleasure, of everything. And they are, it's like, you know, we've got our computers on my phone. My phone, I probably use about 5% of my phone's capacity and all of the things my phone could possibly do, because I've never bothered to find out, because I just go, well, it's doing enough. Our bodies are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, it walks around and it's quite fit, and it's doing what I need. But meanwhile, it's got all of these capacities that are so far beyond what we've ever imagined. And it's a common theory that we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah.
I would suggest the subconscious brain, the 90%, is in the body, it's in the nervous system. And that's where all of that stuff that's driving the show is sort of all wound up,
Mm-hmm.
and the capacity for joy and peace, and more than anything, the capacity to know, just like the power of us,
Yeah.
the capacity to peacefully entertain difference, the capacity to know your truth and what's true for you very fully, and know that when it's on that biological level, that every single human, that their truth is just as valid as yours, even if it seems completely opposed.
Yeah. I would like just
Mm.
to share for the ones watching. We have my beautiful friend Robbie, which is in Portugal, also, and Michelle Winfield and Cynthia. She was
Hello.
she was saying um, she was not hearing me well, but right now she is. And but sorry to interrupt you. What I was
You're not
going ah
interrupting me.
well I was going to share that for the ones that are joining us, the Power of Us was a group that Fiona has created some how many years ago, Fiona? 2 or 3? I
I
don't
don't know,
three, maybe
maybe
three,
four, I think.
four.
Maybe
Yeah,
four.
actually, we
Mm.
met through the power. We met at an Eckhart Tolle group, but we don't remember. You don't remember well, but I
I
remember.
kind of remember. I
Yes,
do. I
yes,
do. I do remember. In this moment, I remember.
yes.
Yeah, I do remember.
And then Fiona, you posted something asking if someone agree with the colors. You were asking us to help you.
Oh, yeah, the colors of the
Yes,
design for the power of us. Yeah, yeah,
and then I responded, and then you invited me to this group, the Power of Us, and by that time, I believe you already have sent me a friendship request. But maybe it was me. I'm not sure, but I think it was you, and that's what when we met Cynthia also, right? Or you already have met Cynthia before? No?
I can't remember. Maybe Cynthia will remember. How's your
Yes,
memory,
yes,
Cynthia?
Cynthia.
Did we meet? Where did we meet? No, I think me and Cynthia met outside of Power of Us, because
Yes.
I remember what I'm remembering right now is this video. I think it was the first video Cynthia did of her standing by a bridge, and she was pretty wild and woolly that day. And yeah, I remember that. And so I think that we actually met on my page. I don't know how. How did we meet,
Yeah.
Cynthia? You got any info there?
I'm waiting because it has some delay, so it takes some time for us to see the answers. But actually, the Power of Us was a place, right? And it is still a place. Now the people don't go there, but Cynthia is saying something. She says, "Us, that was our beginning." So yeah, maybe you invited Cynthia too to the Power of Us. I don't know. She only
Yeah,
says that was our
maybe. Or
beginning.
maybe she means the video was the beginning.
Yes.
Can't remember.
But
Yeah.
what you are saying, I totally agree, and I feel the same. That is our gadget for working here.
It's totally our
It's
gadget.
our gadget, and so it's very interesting because people say you have to go within to find the truth, to feel the truth, but at the same time you go within to be able to connect without in a way to connect the totality. So you are the totality, but also the totality
Mm.
is around. It's very interesting how the things work in the universe, the way I perceive them, because it's always this duality, this contrast, this in out, this one thing that transmutes in another and then transmutes again, and it is this eternal flow. That's why they use the infinite sign and the yin and the yang. I don't know if you feel the same way. Oh, Cynthia
And
says
there's always more than one thing that's true at the same time.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
It's like this thing can be true and this thing can be true in the same place, but they look like they're opposite,
yeah,
but they're both true,
yes,
and that's two humans, isn't it? This
yes,
is your truth, this is my truth. They look like they're opposite and they're both true. Because, and what most often people are looking for in the world is the singular truth. What
yeah,
is the truth? Rather than, and I hear a lot of people say, oh, there's no my truth and your truth, there's only the truth. And I'm
yeah,
like, no, there's only your truth and my truth. There, I do believe there's an absolute truth beyond your truth and my truth, but all we have is my truth about that and your truth about that. Like source energy is
yes,
is a thing. God, and it doesn't even have to be God, because source energy can just be the Big Bang.
yeah,
And I have always said that the only difference between the Big Bang theory and God is intelligence and intention. It's the only difference, because this explosive, glorious, multicolored, gaseous thing that they call the Big Bang looks like God to me,
yeah,
and looks like my perception of God, which is this glorious energy, sparkling with color and light. And the only difference is to say the Big Bang, which it just happened with no intelligence and no intention. It just happened, which just sounds so silly. But okay, if you want to say something just happened and created this entire universe, and there was no intelligence and no intention behind it, okay, that's fine. It really makes no difference. It's still the source of our existence.
yeah,
It's still source energy, And if we as humans imbue ourselves with the intelligence and intention to even be able to learn to walk or talk or dance or make a simple piece of art, it just doesn't seem like it's a huge leap to imbue that which created the entire universe with a bit of intelligence and intention, But it's okay, because it really makes no difference. It's still our source.
yeah,
It's still source energy. Big Bang or God, it doesn't matter what you call it. It still is the source of our existence.
yeah,
And that just is what it is, and for me, I can't fathom. This universe is hilarious. It's full of not only intelligence and intention, but humor.
yes,
Like
yes,
humor and play and fun and creativity. And Jesus, I don't know how you could imagine that the source of all this wasn't full of fun and intelligence and creativity. But that's
hobby,
okay. If that's okay, I'm fine with that, because I don't think it's really any different.
yes.
It's not. It may seem the Big Bang Theory and God totally opposed, but I don't think they are opposed.
No, yeah,
Not for me.
actually, nothing for me. Nothing is opposed. It's what
No.
we were saying, because they touch. It's like we were talking. I was talking with someone the other day. Like when you feel so much pain, and then it almost is a pleasure, or when you have so much pleasure that it is a pain. Oh, it's so cold that
Almost a pain.
oh, something is so cold that actually you get burned,
It's
or the
yeah,
contrary.
nice one.
Yeah, hobby is saying that it has to be an intention. Our mother of creation has created so many different beings, and animals, and insects, and plants. Yes, that's another entire subject for us to. I don't. These days, I just try to be and flow and feel that joy that you were talking about more than my mind's trying to understand, because I know my mind will never be able to understand in this body.
I agree.
when
I agree.
when we
I
come
agree.
back to the that when we leave this body and we come back to that, in a way, because we are already there, but when we are in this body, there is, I don't know how the words they say, a veil. There is something that is the only way that you can be in the body. It's because you have to be more dense, maybe, and then
Mm.
you are not able. This mind cannot understand, never, the
I
totality.
don't think so, because we've just got a little drop of universal mind. How can the little drop, it's like asking the drop of the ocean to understand the immensity of the ocean, even though it is the ocean.
Yes.
You know, it totally is the ocean, but how can a drop of the ocean ever begin to truly conceive of the immensity that the ocean is? And I think it's the same with us and our mind, our drop of universal mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think a mind, I think we made a mistake. Our mind was never for understanding. Our mind was for creating.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
a
our
tool.
mind is for, to
Yeah.
create,
Yeah,
to
it's a tool.
create, have fun. You know, we don't need to understand.
Yeah,
What,
that's
what,
what I feel.
what purpose does it serve for us to understand where we were before this, why we're here and where we're going? What purpose does that serve? Because we actually can't. We
Yeah, that's
can't know where we were before, where we're going, and why we're here. So why bother? It like, maybe for fun, it's fun to sometimes talk about that stuff.
yeah.
You know, it's fun to, with the right people, it's fun. But the minute, usually those sort of conversations become quite angry
Yes.
if there are people with different understandings, and that's not fun. I don't want, that's not fun. So,
Yeah.
you know, if it can be fun, and you can say, wow, that's fascinating, tell me more about how you could possibly think that. I can't understand that, my being can't, you know. But I don't even think we necessarily need to do that. I think it's possible we're here to just have fun, and I definitely think it's a really good idea. And I think that that's one of the things that this global situation has brought us, to say, you know, nothing. You know, we do not know what's going on. Our entire lives have been changed in a way that humanity has never had to move as one and change before, because we've never had the internet to be able to globally shift as one the way that we have.
Yes.
And we have no idea what's going on. We have no idea. Because you've got this set of experts that says this thing is true, and you've got this set of experts who are all equally qualified infectious diseases specialists, and they're saying the opposite thing.
Oh, my
And
cat.
so
Sorry,
I feel
my
this
cat is
is
looking.
telling.
Sorry, it's my cat. She's outside the window and she's looking at me like, you are not going to let me in. But it's
You probably
okay.
should let her in.
Yeah, I'll go.
How long?
You keep on entertaining our friends and I'll come back.
How can I entertain them alone? It won't be the same. I could do a dance. It's kind of entertaining. I'm dancing. I could tell you my son saying, no dancing. That's entertaining. Oh, what did my son say? My son says really entertaining things all the time. I'm trying to think of a Liamism. I'm trying to think. Oh, I remember a Liamism. I'll tell you a Liamism, because I am not Liam, but that is my son. Um,
Sorry.
he said to me one day, he
Yeah.
said, he was about 8, and he said, Mum, you'll remember this, Anna. He said, Mum, I think when God died, and I think he meant Jesus, he wanted someone to take care of the world. He wanted someone to be in charge of the world. He was 8 at the time. And I said, "Oh, do you?" And he said, "Yes, I think he wanted me to be in charge of the world." And I said, "Oh, that's a really huge thought." I said, maybe we're all just meant to be in charge of ourselves. And he just looked at me and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So he could fully conceive at 8 that he was here to be in charge of the world, but not that he was here to be in charge of himself,
Yeah.
which very much sums up my Liam. Mm.
Yes. Oh, he's saying
What's the
something.
time now?
Oh, we have
He's
nine.
telling me to be quiet.
We have 52 minutes of conversation already, and the time just have flied. Yes.
It has.
Yes.
And I'm starving
Yes.
and wanting my cold pie. How about you?
Cold pie. What is cold pie?
Cold pie is my meat pie that I cooked. And then I was on here, so I couldn't eat it, so it will be cold.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, but you could be here and eat it. It was
I can feel very
good.
grateful for
Yeah,
my cold pie.
yeah.
What are you
Suki
doing
says,
today, Anna?
what I'm doing today? Oh, I have to give class to my kids, which is something,
Ah, school.
yes, something that I'm struggling with because it's like we are studying the program that they gave us, and then we are all saying like, what, why, they say to me like, why do we have to learn this? And I say to them, yeah, I agree. And then sometimes it's not very easy, but yeah, let's see. They will be having exams in 1 month or two, and let's see what will be the results. I would like really that they finish this part of their education so they could move on. But let's see if they will be able. I don't know. I don't know. It's all in the unknown.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It is. Liam's
Yes.
back at school 3 days a week here. He
Yes.
started on Monday 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Our schools have said the kids go back 1 day starting this week, but our school's only got 10 children and 2 teachers,
Oh,
so we're a bit
okay.
unique.
Yes. Yes.
So they've gone back to 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, I don't want him to go back. That was my sense. I would like to keep him out longer, but he was like, I want to go back.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and that's that whole thing of making sense and receiving information and everything else. There are so many aspects to receiving information, and particularly when you're dealing with other people and other growing up people who is 12 years old, who says, I really, really need to be back and connecting with someone who's not you.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
just been me and him, just
Yeah.
me and him. Few little different things, but mostly just me and him, and that's intense.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm. But that's what
so
my
yeah.
my kids are feeling too, and I'm feeling that they are feeling like they would like to go back and have contact with the other teenagers like them, and they are in that age very difficult. Like she's 14, he's 15, and
That's hard.
but at the same time, they like the kids around here, they don't have much in common with my kids,
mm,
and
mm,
so it's
mm,
not easy for them to like they have great virtual friends like me and you, which they really love, but in the real life it's not easy for them around here to find children that because the other children came from traditional families with very traditional visions, and that's uh, what I have taught them, or what they got from me is very different from what the other kids got from their father. So
Mm.
it has been always,
I hear you.
yeah, that contrast, that contrast, and so I would love so much to take them to a different kind of environment. But at the same time, I know that is important, uh, that we have to adapt to the people around us. And as we, it's a work in ourselves too, that to accept that other people may look different and have different ideas, but we can get along together. And maybe then we discover
Mm,
that the other people's, they are also like some things that we like, although they have some different views about several
mm,
subjects. And that is what I have been trying
mm,
to
mm,
pass them too, that you don't give the opportunity to your friends to show you sometimes, like my daughter, she doesn't talk at all when she met other teens of her age. She just closed because she is in defensive mode, so she thinks they will be bullying her or something, because that happened several times at school. And so she doesn't give the chance for the people to show their true colors,
mm.
let's say, because she's already, no, I don't want to talk with anybody. So yeah, it is a process, and they will have to find their way. And maybe it's important that they come back to
Yeah.
school, and that they learn how to find the treasure within each human that they find, because actually that's it. The children around here, they are
And
beautiful too.
and you know,
Yes.
that's and the other thing is that, you know, they're when we're 95% the same as every human being on the planet. You know, we all want the same things.
Yes. Yes.
We all want unity, love, safety, food, shelter, laughter, friendship. You know, we all want exactly the same things at a core level. You know, we are so much more the same than the person we think is most different to us.
Yes.
They're just expressing those core needs in a different way than we are, or they're speaking those core needs in a language we don't understand. But you know, and having spent most of my life feeling extremely different to everybody, and just going, I'm on the wrong planet. I'm really not sure what's going on this one at all. And even all these people out there, that they all seem so different, yet they're all the same in a way that I don't get. But yeah, then it was probably in my 30s that I came to that understanding, going, oh, that no matter how different they are or I am, they're more the same, and they all want the same things I want. They have some very odd ways about going about getting it. And no doubt they felt like I had some odd ways, you know,
Yes.
but
Yes.
yeah, we really, really, really are far more the same as, you know, someone like Hitler, someone like the people on the planet that people think are the worst people. They're more like them than they are different, because those people really are just searching for love and meaning and belonging and understanding and safety and all of those things, if perhaps in some very, very odd and harmful ways. I'm not suggesting we should put up with shit. I certainly don't put up with shit. But that doesn't mean that while there are people that I say, I do not want to have anything to do with you, I do not want to have tea with you. I do not want you in my realm at all. But that doesn't mean I have forgotten that you are more like me than you are different. You know,
Yes.
sometimes it's a very challenging process. I'm still learning.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And we have here Cynthia is sending a lot of stickers, beautiful stickers, and my eyes are very heavy, she says. Yeah.
Oh, my tummy is very heavy. It's time to go. I think, Cynthia.
Yes. And
It's time to go. Oh,
Shelley Percy, she says hello, beautiful souls. Barbara Ake is here, and Shannon Macmillan. Barbara is saying hi and sending a lot of kisses, hearts, and rainbows. And
hi, Barbara.
yes,
Is it Barbara Dietz?
Barbara Ake.
Is it Barbara
No,
Dietz?
it's Barbara Ake. Ake, it's another friend. Yes. Um, it's amazing.
Hello.
We I was thinking as I was sharing with you, because I'm feeling like I would like to pick my kids and go to another country, try or to a place, a community where they will find kids more like them. But as I was telling this to you, the actually I have an aha moment, and I think actually we are, because I have been asking myself, my inner wisdom, what should I do? And it's amazing because as we are talking with someone, we have these aha moments as we try to put in words what
Mm,
we are feeling, and that's why we came here to do on this, with these gadgets, on this beautiful garden of Eden called Heart,
to have
to
conversations.
have conversations, to share, to be together, because as we do that, we are sirs, speaking with sirs, and expanding our understandings and our and as you well said, using our intelligence to create. That's it. Our brain is a tool also, and so we have to learn how to use your brain, not to be used by our brain. And when we let our minds seek to understand everything, we actually are being used by our mind that wants to prove that our worth by our knowledge, and actually we don't worth what we know about knowledge, but our worth is always the same. And
and
yes,
and and to just tie it back
yes,
to the nervous system
yeah, because
instead of
it's
using
all,
our brain
yeah,
to understand everything, we can use our body to feel
yes,
everything.
yes, yes, yes,
You know, it's a shift from trying to understand everything to feel
to feel,
everything, just
yeah,
everything. Feel it, feel, feel the grief,
mm,
feel the anger, not rage. That's a different thing. Just feel the life force, feel everything. And then from that place of feeling, use the brain to create,
mm-hmm,
you know, and to create joy and maybe some understanding. That's fun,
yes,
as long as it's fun. But if it's not fun,
yeah,
I just don't think you're using your mind. If it's not fun, you're not using your mind correctly. If it's not fun, if you're
yeah,
not having fun
yeah, that's
with
what
what your
what
mind's
I'm
doing, and
getting.
I'm not having fun on a regular basis often
Yes,
with my mind. But I just have to feel it when my mind starts going, nyeh, 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 nyeh. The other day I was sitting there and I was going, oh, wow, I am filled with judgment.
mm, yeah,
And I think of myself as a fairly non judgmental person. But I was just sitting watching people pass by in the street, and I all of a sudden, because I am quite embodied at the moment, was aware of my mind going a neat, 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 and a neat, 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 just making comments about everything, not necessarily judging them badly. And when I was aware of being filled with judgment, it wasn't necessarily judging anything as bad. It was just judging everything,
yes,
and I was just like, and I was looking at these pelicans today sitting for ages on the beach. I was just thinking, you're just being.
Yeah.
There's no boredom. There's just, yeah. Let us stop using our mind to try and understand everything and start feeling everything,
Yeah.
feeling it as a physical feeling,
Yes.
and start using these groovy gadgets we call bodies
Yes.
to the incredible potential they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a groovy gadget. You're one of my favorite groovy gadgets.
Oh.
We
Yeah.
must stop. How will we stop? How do you usually stop?
Oh, we just say
How do you
goodbye.
stop?
Usually, we have been doing sometimes like as we begin, we stop. Maybe we can chant or something. So we chant together. We make a small
Yeah.
jam.
Do you want me?
Yes, and yeah, I'll move my hands too.
What will we do? What will we do? What chant will we do?
Whatever you feel like, we just start and let it flow. What do you say?
Okay.
A jam, and whoever is joining us, uh, Hobby says we all need to drop in our bodies with breath and intention, learning to just be instead of singing. That's right, Hobby. That feels good to me. That
Yay.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So join us if you are watching, chanting, and I will move my hands because that makes me happy. You do whatever you feel like, and we say goodbye. And I'm yeah. And I'm
And you should wave your hands if that makes you happy.
and also I'm so grateful for all joining this, and I'm so grateful for you, Fiona. And so I'll give you the mic, and then after you share what you feel, we can chant and finish whenever we feel like. So yeah.
Well, do you know what I feel?
Yeah.
I feel silence, and you can move as you. Or do you want me to chant? Would you like me to chant?
Whatever you no, whatever you feel like sharing. Yeah.
Okay. I would love to share some silence with everyone and to just really feel into that and Anna's movement. And silence is beautiful. Okay. Mm. 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 I love you.
I love you. We are love. Mm,
Cosmic love.
cosmic love.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. See you soon, I hope.
See ya.
Yeah. Hope you can back soon. And you all joining. Yeah. Have a wonderful day.
See ya.
See you.
Have a
And
wonderful sleep. You have a wonderful day. I'll have a wonderful sleep on this side of
yeah.
the planet.
And eat your
See
pie.
ya.
See you.
I will eat my pie. I'm going to eat my pie.